Welcome, listeners, to another insightful episode of Unpacking the Rhythms. Today, I'm thrilled to have a special guest with us, a true powerhouse in the Ghanaian music industry, Shatta Wale. Welcome, Shatta. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and talk about what matters in our industry. Let's dive right in. You've been quite vocal about the misinterpretation of your statements within the industry and media misrepresentation. Can you share your experiences with us? Absolutely. It's frustrating when my views, which have been consistent, are twisted for sensationalism. Media outlets often portray my long-held positions as controversial or new, which distorts public perception. That's quite insightful. How does this affect your interactions within the industry and your strategies moving forward? It impacts credibility, but also pushes me to articulate even clearer. It's about sticking to my advocacy despite the noise. I aim to bring attention to our systemic issues rather than just personal narratives. You've highlighted the lack of professional boundaries in the press. How does that complicate the dynamic between the music industry and journalists? There's a hierarchy among journalists. Some command respect based on prestige, but financial incentives often guide coverage. This results in selective reporting and biases that aren't beneficial to artists like me. You also emphasize financial benchmarks as success indicators in the music industry. Why do you believe this focus is crucial? Financial success legitimizes one's authority in the industry. It's not just about having royalties. To comment on industry matters, substantial achievements like wealth accumulation and creating opportunities matter. Shifting to broader industry concerns, you've mentioned the need for adequate talent protection systems. What models do you believe Ghana could emulate? The American industry's institutional priority on talent protection is exemplary. It aligns with fundamental rights and dignity, ensuring creative professionals are safeguarded and rewarded. We need similar frameworks here. It's evident from your points that systematic change is imperative. Could you elaborate on your advocacy work's emotional aspect? How do you maintain authenticity amid such challenges? My emotions during interviews stem from genuine concern for systemic changes, not personal grievances. It's about the hustle and sacrifices I've made, grounding my perspective as legitimately advocating for industry reform. To wrap up, if you could change one aspect of the industry overnight, what would it be? Implementing solid talent protection frameworks would be my choice. We need to empower artists through consistent, fair support systems. It would be a game changer for many creatives in our country. Thank you, Shatta, for joining us and shedding light on these critical issues. Your insights are invaluable. To our listeners, take these learnings forward. Until next time, keep engaging and questioning. Thank you, and to everyone listening, stay true to what you love and continue to push for better. So, Shatta, let's dive a bit more into those systemic changes you envision. You've compared the Ghanaian music industry to the American model. What specific elements do you think we should be looking to adopt to better promote and protect artists here in Ghana? Great question. I think we need to start with a few foundational changes. Firstly, we need stronger copyright laws and better enforcement. Artists should be able to monetize their work without constantly worrying about piracy. This is why I admire the American system. They have robust mechanisms to protect intellectual property. And then, there's the need for transparent and fair distribution channels, so artists can actually see the fruits of their labor reflected in revenue. That's an important point. You mentioned talent protection earlier. Could you elaborate on how that would work? Absolutely. Talent protection means setting up systems that can scout, nurture, and develop artists from a young age. Think of it as academies for musicians, similar to sports academies. These would not only focus on the artistic side, but also educate them on business, branding, and personal finance. It's about creating a holistic environment that turns raw talent into internationally recognized professionals. And how do you balance that with your personal advocacy for emotional authenticity in this industry? Balancing it is crucial. While we promote structural changes, it's important to maintain an environment where artists can express themselves freely. Emotional authenticity should be a key part of any artist's journey. We need to create safe spaces for artists to share their stories and experiences genuinely without fear of exploitation or misrepresentation by the media. Speaking of media, you've been very vocal about how it sometimes distorts artists' stories. How do you suggest we tackle this issue? Media accountability is key. Journalists need to have integrity and understand the impact of their stories on artists' lives and careers. I believe establishing a code of ethics within entertainment journalism in Ghana can be a start. This would foster responsible reporting that highlights genuine issues and supports artists in positive ways. Let's shift gears a little. Tell us about your own strategies for managing emotional health. How do you keep yourself grounded amid all the pressures? It's all about having a solid support system. Surrounding myself with people who genuinely care about my well-being is crucial. That includes family, close friends, and trusted advisors. Also, engaging in activities that I enjoy outside music helps, whether that's a simple hobby or spending quality time with loved ones. And importantly, practicing self-reflection and mindfulness regularly to stay attuned to my feelings and mental state. That's so insightful. Lastly, what advice do you have for upcoming artists, particularly here in Ghana, who are trying to navigate these challenges? My advice would be to stay true to themselves. Don't lose the essence of why they started doing music. Seek to understand the business side of things early on, learn, adapt, and grow continually. And most importantly, don't shy away from speaking out for what's right. Advocacy for systemic changes isn't just for those at the top. It starts with every individual standing up for better structures that can support the entire industry. Thank you, Shatta, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. It's clear that there's a lot of work to do, but with voices like yours leading the way, there's hope for real change in the Ghanaian music industry. Thank you so much for having me. I believe in the potential we have, and I'm hopeful that together we can create a better future for our artists.